Hello, my name is Janice B. Gordon, and this is Scale Your Sales Podcast. Welcome to Scale Your Sales Podcast, listed as number 9 of 43 best podcasts for every sales professional. I am Janice B. Gordon, the customer growth expert, recommended by LinkedIn Sales as one of 15 innovating sales influencers to follow. In today's episode of Scale Your Sales podcast, I'm going to look back in this Christmas edition, the Christmas review. I'm looking back on 2023. I'd like you to think about what are your highlights, what you've been doing, and I'll be sharing many of mine. I also want to look forward into 2024. And again, this is the time to think about really how you would want 2024 to play out, to start visualizing and playing that out. But we'll talk more about how to go about doing that. So, thinking about the highlights for 2023, what have been the moments that have mattered most to you? Now, I've just returned from speaking in Croatia, and I was the opening keynote, and this is the question I asked the audience, and they put in Mentimeter what were their answers to this. What are the moments that matter most to you? So we were talking about, obviously scale your sales and customer behaviors, and this was very much in the yachting business, but still talking about sales. And so it was really interesting that the answers that came back from these B2B experts, what mattered most to them were things like family, connection, significance, love. All of these things were personal things that matter most to them. And the point is that your customers are the same. What matters most to them are connection, love, significant, family, friends. It's the experience of living life. What matters most to you generally matters most to the people that your colleagues or your customers, your buyers. So it's that even though we're talking about B2B, it's really human to human. That's the connection we're trying to make. Sales and buying is the function of things that we need to do in order to move on to the next stage. But it's the way we do it. It's how we do it. And it's really about having those connections, creating those experiences that matter most to people on the journey to buying, on the journey to delivering on a product or service. So it's about understanding what matters most to you also matters most to your customers. So I really wanted to share this with you, and hopefully you'll start to think about yourself in a business environment as a human-to-human experiences, and how you can create those experiences for other people, not only yourself, because this is the thing that matters most to all of us. So the highlights of 2023, I don't know about you, and I'd love to hear about you, but certainly 2023 for me started quite slowly. And I've heard that from quite a lot of people. It's like, oh, I'm not sure how this year is going to pan out. We're still thinking about recession and starting to feel the consequences of Brexit, bad decision. But anyway, and, with the hike in energy prices as well, there was lots of uncertainty. There continues to be a lot of uncertainty. But actually, I think we've learned more as the year has gone on to live more easily, more comfortably with that uncertainty. Whereas at the beginning of the year, we didn't really know where things were going. So I don't know, did it start slow for you as well? But then it started to build up steam. And certainly by the end of the year, I was kind of like constantly on planes, meeting amazing people, delivering my expertise in workshops and speaking. And I've absolutely had an incredible year, and I hope you have too. So my year started, the highlight was going to Lithuania. I spoke at a sales summit, and initially there was 1,200, and that was my biggest audience. And so it was exhilarating, scary as well. But when I got there, it was over 1,800, nearly 2,000 people that had actually booked in and attended the event. And then I got over myself and really enjoyed it, and delivered a great presentation that got fantastic feedback and met incredible people. The one thing that I love about speaking around the world is that it really gives you access not only to the culture, the history, the country, but also the people. People want to talk to you. If you've stood on stage or you've delivered, they want to talk to you. You can ask them more personal questions and really get under the skin of what's happening. And certainly, I don't think you could get 2,000, almost 2,000 people, salespeople at a sales summit, even in London. Now, you think of the population of Lithuania is tiny in comparison to London, UK. And so it was an incredible, exciting, really engaged people. So that was certainly one of my highlights. I spent an incredible day with Patricia Fripp. Patricia is the master of sales presentation and help coaching and helping executives and people to construct their message in a presentation or a keynote, and to ensure that they clearly convey the message that they want their customers, their buyers, their audience to have. And so I spent an incredible day with her that was very memorable in London. I went out to Hampton Court, and I think this is about my third or fourth visit, but this is really about friends and connections. There's an incredible group of people. We have lots of fun, and I've did that as well. Really most enjoyable. But it was also about the community. Coming back on the train, I always buy way too many plants that I cannot fit in my garden, but somehow I squeeze them in. But it's all of those images of people with plants carrying them through that I absolutely love. This year, I celebrated my 6.0 version of myself. This is, I'm really enjoying it. And those that have been visiting my LinkedIn, you'll see on a daily basis, I've had my 6.0 no sh.t philosophies and musings on B2B sales, what I think we need to be focusing on going forward to modernize sales. So hopefully you've enjoyed my musings and no sh.t philosophies. If you haven't, make sure you go back and listen to those kind of 1-minute videos. There are lots of fun. My assistant put in some of the memes and videos to actually make it more fun. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's also on TikTok and Instagram as well. So make sure you connect with me on my channels. I don't just do fun things. I do kind of articles and talk a lot about modernizing sales, customer-centric sales, and diversity in sales, which is something that I've been campaigning on for many years. So this year, in celebration of my 6.0, I went to Norway, and I was going, oh, I want to see the Northern Lights, I want to see, and I did. I saw the Northern Lights, and that was a real highlight. And it was interesting that when I was looking at them, I had this sense of the sadness. And when I kind of delved into that, I realized that this is no longer in the stage of my life, which I've had an incredible life. I've worked really hard for everything that I have achieved, but I have had and continue to have incredible experiences and meet amazing people. So I'm really grateful for that. But at that time when I felt this kind of sense of sadness, and when I dug into it, I realized that I've reached a stage of my life where I have to accept there's more death than there are births or weddings. And so it really, that kind of came over me that, you know, I've got elderly parents and all that entails. And, you know, I'm going to have to deal with a lot more death as I kind of go forward into, you know, the next versions of myself. So all of that kind of hit me, and that's where the sadness came from. But I'm okay with it because that's part of life. But it's really interesting when you have those memorable moments, it's often not the things that you're going to think that you actually start thinking. It's often other things as well. So it's kind of important to look into it, delve into it, and find out what that's about. When you push things away, it's bigger and it's much worse than actually if you open it up and have a look and think, oh, okay, that's what's that about, and it's true, and that's life, and I'm going to have to deal with it. And you know, I've already had people that know me. A younger brother suddenly died 9 years ago, just coming up for his anniversary. And yeah, that was an experience that probably it changes you, and you're never the same again. It's a different version that comes out of that. So it's kind of recognizing that there's many more of those experiences that I'm going to have to work through, and that's where the sadness was. But the year has been incredible. So I hope it's been incredible for you too. Started slow, but actually it's just been amazing. So celebrating 6.0, I got a group of friends together and we did a private dining experience in the Sky Gardens. Now, if you haven't been to the Sky Gardens in London, it has incredible 360-degree views of the iconic London skyline, amazing sunsets and sunrises. And we had a ball, an absolute ball. It was so wonderful, incredible food. So I loved that experience. Thereafter, I went to Croatia and spoke at the Booking Managers Summit, opening keynote there. Again, I learned as much as I gave in learning about the whole sailing, yachting industry, that it's not just the super yachts, it's the normal everyday people that might, as an alternative of investing in a property, would invest in a yacht and charter that out. So it opened up my eyes to a whole new area that I hadn't been exposed to. And that's what I love. That's what I love about going around the world speaking. It opens your eyes to whole new experiences that you don't normally have when you're at home. And I always learn as much as I hope my audience learns from me. So then towards the end of the year, the Sales Innovation Expo, I've been a partner for many years. I absolutely adore what they do. But this year, I hosted a panel of women in sales. For many of you that know me, I've been campaigning diversity in women in sales and modernizing sales. So I've been with this subject for many, many years. And it was a great honor to be asked to host the panel discussion. And this is the first time that Sales Innovation Expo has done that. And so long may it continue. And so I delivered my usual, it's never usual, it's always a new keynote to this audience to help them to modernize sales and look at sales efficiency. So that was the Sales Innovation Expo. And then I went to New York City to deliver some workshops to groups of entrepreneurs and CEOs. Love that. So it was like 5 workshops that I delivered. So I was really busy beginning of December. And since I was out in America, I said to my dad, who's 88, that lets us host Christmas. He normally goes to my brother or my sister or other family members. So it's like we're hosting Christmas. So yes, this is where I am now when this is posted, the 25th of December. Many of you are getting up and thinking about Christmas dinner, but the moments that matter most, it is family, it's love, it's connection. This is really what Christmas is all about. It's actually having that connection with the people that you love. So I hope you're really enjoying this time of year. I certainly are busy helping helping my dad. Not that he really does that much at that time, but he's very joyous when he's got his family around him. And so we're having a wonderful time, and I really hope you are too. Usually in December and January, I go to warmer climates. For many years, I would go off for 6 weeks to Egypt or Morocco or somewhere where it's warmer and take my computer and work out there. So it's kind of a working holiday. So this year I've been in the cold. So I'm hoping in the beginning of the year, I'll nip across to Mexico, have some sun and do my usual business plan and maybe a small project. So normally when I'm away at this time of year, I do bigger projects and I come back in the new year, well, really mid to end of January, all fired up. I'm tanned. I've had my vitamin D. I've got my business plan. I've visualized. I know what my year is going to be back like. I've done some projects. I'm ahead of the game. You know, I've written, whether it's loads of articles or recorded videos and all of those things. I do a project while I'm away. So I'm fired up and ready to go to hit the ground running into 2024. What I love about it is when people I meet, they've been miserable, they've overspent, they've drank too much, they've eaten too much, it's cold, they've been indoors, they haven't seen anyone, and it's really like dragging their feet through treacle, whereas I am bouncing around, ready to hit the ground running. So we'll see what this year brings, having been out in the cold, and we'll see how far I get with that. But I would love you to post and comment on how your year has been, how 2023 has been. What have been the highlights for you? What has been the moments that have mattered most to you? Please do comment either on my social media platforms, Janice B. Gordon, or underneath the posting of this Scale Your Sales podcast. I would love to hear from you. What are your highlights? What have been the moments that have mattered most to you? So if we start to look forward to 2024, I talked a bit about visualizing what 2024 is going to be like. This is the perfect time to chill out, to relax, to read a book, and to, you know, just let your mind wander, but also to spend some time on thinking about and visualizing what 2024 is going to be like to you, starting to plan those moments that matter most to you. I am certainly continuing my celebration of 6.0 with a trip to Japan in March, April, hoping to see the cherry blossom. And this is like a trip that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm really grateful that it's happening in 2024. But also I've had a fantastic year speaking in front of doing workshops with revenue generating organizations. CEOs have asked me to come in and to help them create sales efficient sales teams, to analyze the individuals, to help them to be the top performers, to help the organizations become more customer-centric in their sales operation. That's what I do. That's what I love doing. I love having an impact in this area. So what are you doing? What are you going to do? What is going to be the area that you're focusing on in 2024? Certainly one of the goals that I've thought about is wanting to double my social media following in 2024. I want to reach more CEOs and revenue generating executives that are serious about creating sales efficiencies, top performing sales team, and customer-centric sales operations. I want to meet more of them. And so in order to do that, I plan to increase my social media activity with great content, to get more of my great content. People tell me they really enjoy it, but get more of it out there across my social media channels and to get more people to follow it. So increasing my following, and so my target is to double my following. What is your target? Have you set yourself a target for 2024? What are your plans? What do you want to achieve? I would love to hear from you what that is. Make sure you comment in the bottom of the post and let me know what your plans are for 2024, what you visualized, what your targets are, what you're hoping to achieve, and what matters most to you, how you're going to make that happen in 2024. When I went to Antigua in 2023, we had a family holiday, and my dad just loved it. We had this incredible villa, lovely sunsets. It was all about love and connection, the things that matter most. I stayed on for an extra 2 weeks. I can work anywhere. All I need is an internet and computer, and recorded my 6.0 videos that many of you said you've enjoyed. I absolutely love working in different environments, but I got a call from my friend Patricia Fripp, and I heard myself saying, I'm living the life I'm meant to have. I'm living the life I'm meant to have. And this very much became my mantra for 2023, or my 6.0 version of myself. And so I'd like to ask you, are you living the life that you're meant to have? If not, why not? If not, what are you going to do about it in 2024? Living the life you're meant to have. You can borrow that from me, and please make sure you quote that from me, because literally for the first time I heard myself saying that and thought, oh wow, that's really powerful. So now this has become my guide, my compass. Are you living the life you're meant to have? Are you doing the things you're meant to do? Are you having the impact you're meant to deliver? If these things decisions I'm making don't fit within that, then I'm not doing it, because I want to have, and I'm living the life I'm meant to have. So I'm happy for you to borrow that as your compass. Make sure you spend time out in order to really listen to what you're saying and what you're wanting and what you're doing. And if it fits with your goals, your aspirations, your plans, or fits with the moments that matter most to you. So as I kind of close up this podcast, I would love your comments on what have been your highlights for 2023, and what are your goals and aspirations for 2024? How are you going to make sure you're living the life you're meant to have? How are you planning to have more of the moments that matter most to you? So as we come to a close of 2023 and start to open up 2024, I would like to say thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for introducing your friends to Scale Your Sales podcast and my content. And I love your comments, and I love your reviews, positive reviews. That's fantastic. I'd love your testimonials of this podcast, of the whole podcast series. Please do keep commenting and connecting with me. It's always Janice B. Gordon on all of the channels, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please do comment and connect with me. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege to have you listening to my ramblings and musings and my thoughts. It's been a real privilege to hear your comments and how much you've enjoyed Scale Your Sales podcast. We're coming into the 5th year, and I've really enjoyed speaking to some incredible guests and learning from amazing people, whether I'm out speaking or whether I'm working directly with clients, or whether it's online through social media. Thank you so much, and I wish you a blissful, wonderful 2024. Take care. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Scale Your Sales podcast. If you like this discussion, feel free to listen to other episodes or watch the captioned show on YouTube and subscribe to future episodes. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a positive review on iTunes. Thank you.